Strategies for ceramic coating white paint.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
This is DIY Detail. We're ceramic coating clear coat. It's the same thing on any color, but there's one big distinction with white. You don't see what you're doing.
You can't see a dang thing. Now, I know that black paint is the sexy paint. White paint isn't as cool. A lot of people have white vehicles. If you're a detailer out there, if you just got a white vehicle, I've got white paint. I'm not hating. They're difficult because you really have to know what you're doing and keep track of it. That's very difficult for me. So Ivan's gonna teach me some things, and hopefully we'll teach you some things. Why should somebody listen about a white vehicle ceramic coating tutorial?
Because it applies to every color, but white is the most difficult color to coat. Because, as Nick said, we don't see what we're doing. We have to go by feel, we have to go by being methodical and knowing where we are and how. So first of all, I'm gonna start on the hood. The reason I'm starting on the hood, I want to prime my pad. I put 8 to 10 drops in here. I'm just gonna start in a nice circular motion.
And what coating are you using, sir?
I'm using our 8-year ceramic coating.
Okay, why use 8-year ceramic coating from DIY Detail?
This is a daily driver, and it's actually a fan of the channel that brought their car to us. So it's the best we can do for them.
Yeah, they drove about an hour from, I believe, Lincoln, Nebraska. So they came to Omaha, and we came to deliver.
Now we can actually see it sometime in the light, maybe in the camera.
And you're waiting until about 50% of it disappears.
Right, gone
Flashes
back to
clear, right? And it's hard to see that on white paint, so I'm gonna have to rely on feel. And I just went over it. It was grabby under my towel, which means I'm leveling too early. I have a short nap towel. We use a lot of different towels in videos, but the one I would recommend is the level 1 coating towel, and then our Freebird 400. You can find those on DIYdetail.com.
Yeah.
It's just nice to have 2 different towels, 2 different, I don't know, lengths of, how would you describe it, Ivan?
Well, the short nap towel is the best at spreading the coating, because we're not trying to remove it from the surface, we're actually trying to spread it. That's what the leveling is for. That's why we call it a leveling towel, not a removing towel. Then the insurance towel has a longer, deeper pile or nap, and what that does is any little cracks and crevices it gets into quite easily, making sure that we don't have any high spots. So I've done up to this body line, Nick.
Okay.
And then I'll do the next section. Communication is very important when you're coating as a team, to let the other person know where you've been and what you've done and what you haven't done. There you go, the whole hood is complete. Now, both Nick and I are right-handed. It makes it easier for us to go around the vehicle clockwise. That way we're working with our dominant hand.
Make sure to color outside the lines, level outside the lines. I actually split this up into thirds, where I'm just like working that section, boxing it in, using this to level, and then knowing that I just kind of broke this up into a third, I'm now gonna go from this third to that third, this third to that third. So I'm just wanting to even out anything that might be excess coating left on the paint. I'm going way outside of the hood line here. Any potential for high spots, I'm trying to eliminate by being overly redundant with my towel.
Added 2 more drops to my applicator, and I'm gonna start on the fender. I'm finishing with the front bumper. And the reason I'm finishing with the front bumper, that is the area that's most likely to have a little moisture left over. And moisture is not a friend to coating. Now, our coatings are instant cure technology, meaning as soon as it's on the paint, if Nick wanted to, he could go over it with the leveling towel.
Like so.
Right. But it's grabby when you do that, and at the same time, you might have to use another towel. We pride ourselves on not having to use 20, 30 towels to do a coating job.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
It's not fun, nor is it cost effective. I just thought it was the best way to do it back in the day.
It's probably how we were taught, Nick.
Right, and now it's pretty slick under my towel. So I'm just kind of working it like so. And again, knowing that I can't mess this up, worst case scenario, I get a wet towel, but I'm gonna make sure I level everything.
Right.
Does leveling make the coating work better, or is it just visual?
It actually makes it work better. So on a video, Sylvie and I invited a guest to coat our Ford Escape. And in looking over the footage, we coated the whole roof.
Okay.
But there's half of the roof where it didn't get leveled. That half does not bead like the half that got leveled. So it is important to level your coating. So Nick, upper part of the window, the A pillar, etc., and the mirror. While he's doing that, I can get the upper part of the back door. That way I'm not in his way, he's not in mine. Then I'll go back to do the lower part of the front door.
I suppose the good news with white paint, you may never see a high spot if you put it on. Or maybe you'll see it in like 3 weeks and be like, dang it, I didn't notice that the first 17 times I drove it.
Yeah.
But I'm in the right lighting conditions now and I notice it on my front fender or something.
Right. And speaking of noticing it on a front fender, we have this good little short that Nick actually maybe insert it here. This would be great because it's one of those teaching moments that we had on Nick's fender. I forgot to level it. It was my fault. And that vehicle, we had it back in the shop a couple days later. None of us had noticed that it had this huge high spot on it. And when it got just in the right lighting, we could see that high spot. So very important teaching moment. Here it is.
When we got into the shop, I told Ivan, I'm like, I think a bird dropping etched this front fender. And Ivan said, no, Nick, that's a high spot.
So here we can see the high spot down there, right there. So there's a way, and it actually goes up here. The way to remove a high spot is a short nap microfiber towel, a little bit of C6 app.
What is C6 app for the folks who may never have heard of that before?
That's our adhesion promoter polish, and it has just a tiny bit of abrasive in it. We don't want something that's very abrasive to remove the high spot because we don't want to remove coating. We just want to remove the excess of coating that's there. I'm just lightly going over with my finger because I don't want to remove the coating. I just want to remove the excess coating. And then checking often. So we don't want to remove, like I said, the coating. So we go slowly and just
So with all this abrasion, Ivan, are you sure you're not removing my coating?
No, it would take a lot more than this to remove the coating. The high spot is an excess of coating, but also mostly an excess of solvent. And the solvent is trapped under a little layer of coating. And you don't want to be taking a tool and going after this and I'm going to fix this whole section. No. You notice I'm taking little small bites out of it because it is an excess of coating. And that excess means if I'm just taking small bites and slowly working it, I will remove it without damaging the coating beneath it. The areas that still have, that's why I put a bit of polish on there and now I can go by hand. And again, no pressure whatsoever. That's why you want to inspect frequently, is just to make sure that you're stopping when it's time to stop. So, Nick has done the upper part of this door. I've applied to the upper part of the back door. I'm back here doing the lower part of the front door.
I'm never putting pressure on anything, Ivan, but I did a little bit to level this coating on the glass. I might need you actually on this plastic to show the viewer something.
Okay, let me finish here.
So when he's done there, I want to show you if you can kind of see like this streak a little bit. I'm doing this, it's not moving.
Yeah.
I don't want to dig in. We don't use pressure here. I said I could use pressure on glass. When it comes to plastic, you have to sort of like play with it a little bit. But I think today with the humidity in this shop and this plastic, it's telling us it wants us to level right away. And in fact, I just see a smidge more if you could, I might be seeing things at this point. You ever get to that point where it's like, am I seeing things or is this really happening?
Yeah, and let it sit for 15, 20 minutes and then inspect it again.
Okay.
And don't forget the upper part here.
Got it.
There you go, got it. We did the roof off camera because we didn't want to make this video too long for you. So.
Well, there's a lot of real estate on this Honda Passport.
There is. So the whole front door there, Nick.
Okay.
While Nick is doing that, let me get the back door.
And I just noticed that I kind of missed a spot over here. So I'm gonna use my towel. Do you see that like little area that looks a little bit drier and that looks like a little wipe spot? Well, let's just see if I can level that. Just like that, perfect. Yeah, I've left so many high spots in my life that I kind of know where some of those high spot, hot spots are, Ivan. Could you explain what is a high spot, hot spot, and on white paint, why is that important for folks to know?
So any color paint, but any intersection, any change of plane, any change of direction, around door handles, around mirrors, those are parts where you can get high spots. Because when you're leveling, your towel may skip over a little part of it, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, another thing that we want you to learn is to hold this. It holds onto you. I've got my 4 fingers in here. It's holding on. If you have an issue with this, some people do, you can do this. Put 2 fingers here, 2 in the center. That's going to hold onto it even tighter. But it should never fly out of your hand. If it's flying out of your hand, there's a couple reasons for that. One is it's too dry. The other one is you're up on your fingertips like this. You need to be as flat as possible. And when you're flat like this, it's great. Now, notice how my shoulder and my elbow are sort of in an awkward position. All I have to do is rotate my hand. Now I'm in a very natural position. So find a position that works for you. Now I box this in and filling in the center. You want to coat everything on the outside of the car, other than the tires. You want to coat the glass. You want to coat the paint, the plastics, the moldings. You name it.
Parking sensors?
Parking sensors, definitely. Rear view mirrors or, cameras, you definitely want to coat as well, because if you don't coat the cameras, they get snow accumulated on them, they get rain, and if they're coated, they clean almost themselves. Next, a larger piece of real estate, we'll break it into 2. Like I said, I've already done the roof and I've done the black plastic up here. So I'm gonna go down to this body line. Work the corner here and get the window, and then Nick can come in and level. While he's doing that, I'll do part of the hatch. Now, if you've never applied a coating before and you have a white vehicle, use a piece of very tinted glass like this back glass, and this will give you a visual representation of what you're looking for and also how quickly the coating sets up and cures. That way we can see it here.
And then you can also practice, what does it look like and feel like for me to use my leveling towel to spread the excess and to buff it to that ceramic shine.
Yeah.
I like that, the ceramic shine. Why do ceramic coatings make paint shinier, Ivan?
A couple of reasons. First of all, they're slightly filling in the imperfections in the paint. So the paint, we see it as a smooth, glassy surface. In reality, it is a porous surface, and we're filling in those pores. Now, on this vehicle, unfortunately, we had a problem with our camera, and we didn't get the prep process. We got the wash, but we didn't get the prep process. This was prepped with our C6 adhesion promoter polish. And the adhesion promoter polish slightly swells the paint, opening up the pores. As it's doing that, you get this beautiful glossy finish, but those open pores will actually receive the coating, making it easier to level, easier to apply, and giving even more gloss.
I used to be a panel prep guy. Once you go app, you never go back.
No.
It smells nice with the tea tree oil. It feels like the coating often will self-level. Not always, but depending on the humidity, the paint, and the day, sometimes it's like, what am I even leveling off? Like it's gone. Like, I don't know. It just makes my life easier, and I enjoy it more than panel prep. But I do still find panel prep. Oh. I do still like panel prep, Ivan. I'm not putting panel prep down.
Oh no, definitely.
If you have panel prep and you want to buy one of our coatings and you have our panel prep, you don't need app and a random orbital sander, a dual action sander. Although, I don't know, would you recommend it? Would you say you need it? I don't think you need it.
It's not a need, it's a definite, you should have. Definitely makes the coating application easier, faster, and you'll get better results and longer lasting results from your coating. Because now it's not sitting on the surface, it's actually sitting in the surface. Another nice thing about this applicator, Nick, is it goes in everywhere.
As opposed to?
Well, there's some companies that provide this little plastic block or foam block that you wrap a small piece of microfiber suede around,
right?
Like Alcantara.
Used them?
Yeah, use them, abuse them.
Never loved them, actually.
No, and these passport letters I haven't done from here down.
Okay. You see what I did there with the trunk open trick?
Perfect.
That's a pro move as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. well, we can actually see better.
Yep.
Now, with those suede blocks, getting in all these letters of the passport here, these indentations, would be very difficult. With us, it's super easy.
We're doing a bit of a twister here.
Yeah.
That's the game, twister.
That is it. There you go, Nick. The whole bottom is done.
And I'm just gonna use a different lighting source. This is a little bit better lighting than anywhere we have because of the window over by Sylvie. So it's a nice place to just actually see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And level. Ever so gently. Loving my life. Feeling the Zen flow, Ivan. Watching this paint transform before my very eyes. It seriously does feel so slick under my towel.
Yeah.
It's almost like our ceramic coatings are a passport to a whole new life.
Ooh, good one.
What do you think of the Honda Passport, Ivan?
Cool vehicle.
Yeah, we were just checking it out. I had a Honda CR-V back in the day. It's about 300,000 miles on it. That was my first car. So Hondas are reliable. I know that much.
I've had one Honda in my life. It was a Honda CRX, 1989. So now I've done the plastic in this lower bumper. Let Nick level that before I move forward. And again, it has parking sensors in it. You want to coat the parking sensors.
Tell me about coating plastic.
It does a lot for it. If it's a brand new plastic like this truck has 700 miles on it, you want to coat it. If it's starting to fade, your vehicle's 3 or 4 years old,
Or older.
then you want to use our Plastic Restore and Protect, which is a ceramic coating, but also has a dye in it and very, very aggressive wetting agents that just soak that coating into the plastic, making it last longer. But this is a brand new vehicle, meaning the coating or the plastic has no oxidation. So the coating can grab in nicely.
I used to stress out so much before coating jobs.
They started getting easier about 10 years ago.
That still didn't work for me because I like making things more difficult.
Right. But there's still some companies out there that have extremely difficult to apply ceramic coatings, and their excuse is, if it's hard to apply, it must be good. If it's too easy, it can't be good, which couldn't be farther from the truth. So from here down, including the plastic there, Nick.
Okay.
And you know, there's the other end of the spectrum, Nick, that they can go on a shopping site and buy a $20 bottle of ceramic coating for 100 milliliters and do 5 cars and it's gonna be great. Probably not. The technology, we know what the technology costs, and if someone is selling you that much for that little, they don't have a good technology.
Well, and when we first started, I was like, could we just use someone else's coating and white label it? Like, is that even an option? Is that something people do? And the way you described it, because you know the industry so well, is you're like, yeah, a lot of people do that, but we chose not to.
No.
These are our own formulas.
These are our own formulas, our own IP.
Like, we paid a lot of money with a chemist and all of the IP to get these as our own, right?
Yeah, and I've done a lot of R&D to get here, so.
Just to say, not all ceramic coatings are created equal.
No, not all are created equal, and every ceramic coating is a trade-off. What do you want? Do you want more gloss? Do you want more slickness? Do you want more durability? Do you want ease of application? There's a lot of different things that go into a coating that you have to take into consideration. And
So where do ours shine, in your opinion? I think I know my opinion is, from all the thousands of installs that we've had and all the detailers, super easy to apply.
Right.
Like, amazingly easy. As you can see, any professional can do this and be very profitable. And then they're holding up. Like, people are seeing them like a year, 2 years later, and they're like, these are legit, these are holding up, like I'm in, right? But yeah, that's my feedback. What do you think our ceramic coatings shine?
Well, definitely the longevity, the performance of them. So not just how long is it lasting, but how's it working? What's it doing to the paint? It's making it glossy, it's making it slick, it's making it easier to clean. It's making it almost self-cleaning. So those are all things that we look into. As a professional installer, my first goal is having a coating that isn't complicated. I want to be able to take an employee that I hired yesterday, give them a bottle of coating and say, here, apply this on the car.
And is that easy?
It is that easy.
Yeah. I used to be the guy who thought if it's harder to install, it's better. And I've become a little wiser as I've aged, and I like easy. Easy's good, Ivan.
Yep, there you go. The whole bottom section of that door,
Okay.
including the door handle. Very important to coat not just the door handle itself, but the inside. That when the customer reaches here, they feel that slickness.
I mean, I'm the customer. I love it on my own ride.
Yeah.
Feeling that is great.
Adding a couple drops to my applicator. One of these bottles, by the way, should do 2 vehicles this size.
That is a question we get a lot. Well, will one bottle do me for this? Or will one bottle do 2 trucks? Or, you know what I mean? It's like, what do you tell folks?
Yes, it will if you follow our instructions and use the included applicator, because we include this applicator in the kit. But some people go, oh, I want to use this or that applicator because that's what I'm used to, and it takes a bit of practice to get used to this applicator. Some people pick it up on the first try, other people can struggle with it a little bit. And like I mentioned before, they're struggling because they're putting too much pressure, or they're up on an angle, or it's too dry. But this is the applicator on the market that will use the less coating. It will spread it out as thin as possible. And more coating is definitely not better.
Home stretch now.
So far, real time, we've been doing this for 20 minutes. We're almost done this passport. Now, those of you that have paid a professional detailer to have a ceramic coating installed, and you're going, wait a minute, you guys are doing this in under half an hour and you're charging me this? Well, yes, but there's a lot to it. There's a lot more to it than just applying the coating. We're in the home stretch, Nick. Front bumper, and then the windshield. Now, the front bumper, to me, includes the headlights. So let's start with the headlights, and I'll do this in 2 sections. I'll do the upper section, and then I'll do the lower section. So the upper section is all the white stuff, Nick, the headlights and the grille.
Okay.
Then we'll go down to do the lower section. Once again, this applicator, great in these embossed letters. Get this grille as well. It's a nice simple grille. We love simple grills, or at least I do.
And how do you feel about complicated grills and wheels?
That is the domain of Quick Beads.
What is Quick Beads and what does it do and why do you like it, Ivan?
So Quick Beads is a spray-on, rinse-off ceramic sealant. No, it's not gonna last as long as a coating. But on wheels and on grills, it's so easy to do as you're washing the vehicle. Just do that. Now, this type of grill, great, but when you get into these egg crate things, they can be a pain. If you have the patience to do it, by all means, but we have a solution for you. If you're like me and go, no, that's not for me.
DIY Detail Quick Beads. We'll put a link in the description below if you want to check that out. It's a great ceramic coating maintenance product as well.
Yep.
You can use it obviously on your paint, not just on your grill, not just on your wheels. It's a nice drying aid, a protectant. So when you're thinking about how do I maintain my ceramic coated vehicle, how do I take care of this once it's actually been locked in with this protection, Quick Beads is something you might want to have in your arsenal, but you don't need it today. You don't need anything really once you have a coating. You could just rock and roll with rinseless wash, get your vehicle washed quickly, use rinseless as a drying aid, and rely on the ceramic protection. I mean, that's the beauty of it. It's like, it's not a one-stop shop where you're just done forever, but you don't need a lot to just do your regular maintenance washes, and they become so easy with a coating. That is by far my favorite part of a coating. It's just how much fun it is to clean a vehicle because it cleans easily. I don't want to deal with a bunch of nonsense, Ivan.
Yeah.
I put in all the work to get it coated. Let's just make this easy.
Right, and there's no need for purchasing special products to maintain a coating. It's not necessary. Now you're starting to see these flat panels show up in the front of vehicles. That's LiDAR. That's a form of radar, actually. But it's there to help with the distance when you're driving, and very important. And yes, you definitely want to coat this because you want to keep it as clean as possible. So this is a LiDAR, and then it has a camera here as well. So with our coatings, there's a few little things you need to keep in mind. 1 hour after it's installed, you can drive away in the rain. You don't have to let it sit for 72 hours or whatever It's not necessary. The other time frame is, when can I wash it? With our new improved technology, 3 days you can wash it. Now, we're not saying go through a car wash in 3 days. We're not saying to use harsh chemicals, but with the rinseless wash after 3 days, you can wash your vehicle. Doing the windshield is an important part of it.
I'll trade you since you're already up there.
Because you want to make sure that you're seeing where you're driving in the rain. Now, ideally, you'll use our glass-specific coating, but if you're a wiper user, despite having a coating, it's going to make it much better. If you're adept at using coatings, meaning you're not going to use your wipers because you know you have a coating on it, then this is a great solution.
Our C6 Hydro Glass, our glass-specific coating is better though for the daily driver where you're gonna get a lot of abrasion on the windshield, but we're just showing you different ways to do it. If you got your one bottle of coating, you paid for it, and that's what you're trying to extrapolate all the way onto your glass, this is absolutely gonna be fine. Again, you've always said daily drivers do benefit a little bit more from Hydro Glass. Oh, I'm gonna do it. I thought we were just trading. I haven't coated glass in a couple of days, Ivan. We've been doing all kinds of videos here in the shop. And I actually don't need any more on there, do I? Yeah, I had it in my hand, so it was tempting. I'm gonna hand it to you. And this is where Ivan likes to say, you can use pressure, right?
Right, that's the one place you can use pressure because we're trying to get every little last drop out of that applicator. Why are we getting every little last drop out of the applicator? Very simple. We're gonna reuse that applicator. That applicator, this isn't its first ceramic coating. It's not a sin to reuse it if you keep it clean. And the way we keep it clean is we put it back in our wash bucket, we let it sit for 15 minutes, it gets laundered with the towels, and it's good to go for another day.
It's amazing how much coating is still on here, Ivan.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir. I'll just sneak right under there. Make sure I get that. Ivan makes it look so easy. I'm always overdoing it. Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
Well, am I though? I'm always, now you see inside my head why I take longer. I'm like, did I get it? That's why being meticulous is so important. So we've got my leveling towel in my hand. I'm gonna go under the wiper here. And we'll double level there, triple level there. I'll hand you this.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'm gonna get confused. All right, and then we do my final insurance wipe here. And our windshield, our glass is so beautiful, shiny, and protected.
Very good, Nick. Now, final inspection. We went around the vehicle this direction. We're going to inspect it going in the opposite direction so we have a different lighting view to make sure if there are any high spots before cleaning this, we can eliminate those high spots.
What's the most important thing you think folks should know once their vehicle's ceramic coated?
Look at it, smile, and enjoy.
Okay, we love that. So if you like looking at your vehicle, if you like smiling, if you like enjoying, if you want to know a little bit more on just like how to deeply clean a car, because you're a student of the game now. You've learned a little bit about coating. You want to know how do I deeply clean a car? That video, the education continues if you click right here.